18 months on from conquering Europe, Manchester United entered the 70s in transition. Jock Stein had been approached to succeed Sir Matt Busby on his retirement, but when he declined, Busby decided to take Wilf McGuinness under his management wing. It cast a big shadow.
It's rather a big thing to get in, first of all, into team manager at Manchester United from one of the staff. He's a boy that has the potential, but as I've said before, everybody starts at coach and then a chief coach become team manager, and I think this is probably the best thing for Wilf at the present time.
Do you think he's given you enough authority in this position as chief coach to get you by at Old Trafford?
Yes, I think so. I think it'll be something I'll be able to get my teeth into with the help of the staff here.
Being 31 was a handicap. It would have been better if he'd have stayed on from my point of view and took me on as his number two and then possibly developed and learnt more that way. We had players like Charlton, Law and Bess, you know, three world-class players, and having grown up with Bobby Charlton, that might have been difficult, especially when I left Bobby Charlton and Dennis Law out of the team. I dropped them. I thought I dropped the atom bomb at the time. And people said I would have dropped George best if I could have found him, you know. Still, but George, no, George had some super games, and let's face it, we're talking about world-class players.
Best is up front. There he is, the defence split. Can he do it? He surely must. Garand. Collins' header that was. Comes the best. And it's there. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
But Bess was now causing Wilf McGuinness more problems than he was solving. Christmas 1970, 18 months into Mission Impossible, and a home defeat at Arsenal's hands cost the new manager the support of the fans and the board. As McGuinness resumed his original post with the reserves, Sir Matt reluctantly resumed responsibility for the first team, pending a further appointment.
The club and the board of directors are determined, probably in their own minds, it should be a figure, it should be a man that's got experience, it should be a man that's handled players in the situation. That doesn't necessarily mean first class. There's some great managers in the second division. I could tell you one or two myself. But,
can you name me one or two?
Well, I think this Frank O'Farrell's a very, very promising manager.
Busby gave up any involvement in the club's management to join the board of directors. O'Farrell gave up Leicester City to steer Manchester United 5 points clear of the rest of the First Division by Christmas, with a little help from the usual suspects.
Dennis Law running beautifully. Dennis Law there, and the ball is still there. It's free. Dennis Law, and he's scored. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He deserved that. Players are losing this ball in the sun, but it was Best who picked up that kid flick. Driven wide. Yes! Kids cross, O'Neill, Best, and McElroy! And that's a beautiful ball from Best to Morgan, and Morgan's got a real chance here, and he's made it!
And we were at the top of the league, and then when we lost a couple of games, all of a sudden the secret Frank O'Farrell came out. The coaching manual suddenly appeared and the blackboard, and it just all changed. I don't think we ever lost a game on the blackboard. I think we drew a couple, but I don't think we ever lost any. He spent months with me asking me to head a ball, and I kept saying to him, well, Frank, I'm crossing the ball. How can I cross it and head it at the same time? But he couldn't understand that.
Blythe coming in for Palace. And this has been their greatest afternoon. And there's Rodgers. Will this be 5? It's going to be 5. It is 5.
The end of Frank O'Farrell's 18 months in the job. United, badly in need of a tonic, had sent for the dock. Fasten your seatbelts.
It takes a bit of time to find out whether you need new players or new signings. This is not always the answer. I think you must give the players who are there the opportunity.
That was in a terrible state, actually. I mean, you don't really realise the condition the club was in, actually. It needed about 16 players, not half a dozen. I brought Ali Forsyth in from the national team, the right full-back. We got big Jim Holton at the heart of the defence from Shrewsbury as well, for 80,000 quid. Buchan was already here, who I had already recommended to Frank Farrell. And a week later on, we got Stuart Houston, who I had as a kid at Chelsea. I think the most I spent was Lou Macari. 200,000 quid, which today is peanuts today.
Yes, Macari sets Old Trafford alight.
Players are brought to clubs when the club's struggling, and I came along with a load of other players, and everything changed round so quickly. And then, all of a sudden, George had gone, Bobby had gone, Dennis had gone, and a whole new batch of players had come in. And it took us, it took time for us to get to know one another. It took time for us to get to be able to play on the pitch.
The first gentleman of football makes his last appearance in the Football League. Bobby Charlton coming out to mark this momentous occasion.
After more than 750 games and nearly 250 goals, Bobby Charlton's unparalleled United playing career ended in 1973.
It became a nightmare. So I took the easy choice. I disappeared.
The George Best saga ended very differently. He played his last United game on New Year's Day 1974, aged 27. Regrets? Well, he may have had a few. Dennis Law's farewell was drowned in regrets. Freed to rejoin Manchester City 9 months earlier, his return was fateful and final.
Pulled across for Law! Dennis has done it! And no elation there at all from Dennis Law. We've got an invasion of the pitch that we could well do without. And I suspect that we shall see the referee calling the players off. Yes, he's taking them off. We have, in fact, had 45 minutes in this game, and I don't see him bringing them back on. So that, presumably, is the end of the game. And apart from 90 minutes at Stoke on Monday, the end of Manchester United's 36 years unbroken run in the First Division. Sent there by the last kick that Dennis Law is likely to take on this field.
No, let's get it right. No, they didn't go down because they got beat by Manchester City that day. They went down because Birmingham beat Norwich the same day. So don't give me that. I never put them down.
It's easy to say now, but maybe Dennis did his old boss a favour. Doherty imposed his personality on the team, and it was a youthful, zestful United that re-emerged a year later, with the studious, reliable Steve Coppell from Tranmere on one wing and the strutting extrovert Gordon Hill from Millwall on the other. The new centre-forward, Stuart Pearson, made hay.
Oh, good ball to Pearson. He waited his moment. Still Pearson. Superbly struck.
It gave Tommy Doherty a chance to get rid of some of the deadwood at the club. Bought some new players. I got the players into the habit of winning. I think the support increased because we were winning. And it was never as easy a season as Lou Macari used to say.
And after about 5 games, when we banged in 4 or 5 goals in each game and we'd hit 2 or 3 teams here for 4, the penny dropped with us all that it was going to be almost a formality to get out of the division.
57,000 every game. There were maybe 5,000 or 6,000 out for some games. So the fans were absolutely tremendous.
Beautifully done. Great play by Sammy McElroy. Along the line, Pearson, and it goes! Jerry Daly, McElroy!
I thought the football that was played that season was magnificent. We played with 2 wide men, we played attacking football. Every away ground was full, broken records and everything. And, well, it was a good job because when we got relegated it was devastation, but when we came back, it started, to me, the rebirth of United again.
Hill, nicely played to Daly. The query is up. Hill trying to count it and does! Gordon Hill! And that confident, cocky youngster from London's Millwall has put Manchester United in front. A contrast between the two ends of the ground. Total noise from behind Graham Mosley's goal. And Hill, it was deflected! And that surely ties it up. Gordon Hill's second goal. And all around the ground now, all you can see is red and white of Manchester United. And there's the happiest Londoner that ever went to Manchester.
Doc's red and white army started to come flying back. We came buzzing out of the second division, right up to the first division, stayed at the top of the first division and tried to dislodge Liverpool, and went to the final of the FA Cup, so we were back.
Shannon, nice touch again. Carry on. Oh, look at this. Bobby Stokes. Hit well. Oh, he's there! Stokes has put Southampton in the lead. And they're all off that Southampton bench. The underdogs have confounded them all.
We'll never forget it. It was offside. To this day it was offside. But the records show Southampton won, Man United nothing. I was more disappointed after that game than we were when we got relegated, because I was so sure we were going to beat Southampton. I said at the time we'll go back next year again, but it was that was my heart talking, not my head.
As Jimmy Greenhoff's header on for Pearson, a chance on here, and Pearson is the scorer.
I remember running to the fans and sticking my arm up and all the lads jumping on my back. I mean, it's the greatest feeling you can ever feel in your career. That's why I never played the rest of the game. My back was killing me.
Jones. Case. Good turn. Oh, yes! On by Macari. Smith slips slightly. Jimmy Greenhoff. And is it gone in by Macari, is it?
Coming off the pitch, if somebody had said to me, do you know that ball that Jimmy Greenhoff on the chest or on the shoulder? I'd have called them liars, because I didn't see it and I don't remember it. And it was only after the game, when it was shown to me on television, was the first and only indication I had that that ball deflected off Jimmy into the back of the net. Would it have gone in? There's a train station behind that end at Wembley called Wembley Central. It would probably have landed on platform 2.
12 months after losing here, Tommy Docherty, the manager who one or two people rather cruelly said was the most successful failure in football, has today proved them wrong.
When I put the lid in my head, Big Jack Charlton, lovely bloke, Big Jack, he said before the game, when we played Southampton, that I hadn't done my homework properly on Southampton. And I was pointing up to Big Jack, saying, not bad for a fella who's not done his homework.
We promised you last year we would bring the cup back. And we brought the cup back to the finest supporters in the world.
He had them eating them out of the hand. The supporters loved him. He was Manchester United at the time, and everyone was looking forward, after winning the cup, to next season for a good league.
But Tommy Docherty was mulling over a personal secret that would burst the bubble that he had blown. His love affair with the wife of the club's physiotherapist, Laurie Brown, became public. United became involved.
I went to the chairman's house at Old Edge, and Sir Matt was back from Holland then. And they asked me, they couldn't have that sort of thing at the club. They asked me to resign, which I refused to do. And then they sacked me.
It is the board's intention to appoint a new manager as soon as possible, and applications are invited from managers with experience and proven ability, which should be addressed to the chairman, Mr. Louis C. Edwards, at the club address in confidence.
10 days later, United made Dave Sexton of Queen's Park Rangers their fourth manager in 8 years. A very different kind of manager.
Probably the nicest man I've met in football. The problem Dave had was that when Doc gave a press conference, the press would have to figure out what to leave out. When Dave had a meeting with the press didn't know what to put in because he gave him so little. But he was just a different character.
Like a lot of other teams in the league,
They're all capable of winning something, and I sincerely hope we can put it all together and achieve something.
So McIlroy to take the corner and swing it in towards Jennings, and McQueen heads in!
Gordon McQueen followed in the transpennine footsteps of his best pal at Leeds, Joe Jordan, at a joint cost of nearly £1 million. Another title seemed as far away as ever, but another cup final was imminent as United beat Liverpool in a replayed semi-final.
Jimmy Greenough! Manchester United have scored, and it's the man that got the winner in the final. Jimmy Greenough! Would you believe it?
Two-0 down. And hope now is fast fading for them as Koppel lifts that free kick in there again. It'll come all the way through to Jordan, turning it back in there again, and a go! And it's Cullen! And McQueen is the man who claims it, and suddenly United are back in the game with 4 minutes left, and who knows what might be produced in those 4 minutes. But here's Koppel, and there's McIlroy getting in there. Can he finish it off? Yes, he can! 2 goals in a minute, and suddenly United are back in it. Arsenal were preparing their victory speeches, and now they're dumbstruck.
I actually thought and seen Arsenal faces. If that game hadn't went in the extra time, I know it's all ifs and buts, but if it hadn't went in the extra time, they were dead. Because when we got it to 2-2, when I happened to score the equaliser, they were on their knees, and well, you know what happened after that.
What an amazing turnabout. And the scenes on the 2 benches, well, I've never known. The despair on the face of Don Howe and Terry Neal. But wait a moment, it's there by Sunderland, and they're back in the lead again, and they're off the bench once more. What an amazing cup final.
Gary was a good goalkeeper, obviously, and he maybe, yeah, he made a mess of it. Not letting him away with that one.
Maybe Dave Sexton didn't get away with a club record signing of Gary Birtles. £1.25 million for a striker who didn't score a league goal until his 30th game for the club.
Well, he fell over his own feet there.
Sexton, who had steered United to runners-up spot the season before, had already been sacked.